Throughout history, Western civilization has been meticulously documented, often glorifying the achievements of the Greeks and Romans. Yet, one crucial chapter remains overshadowed: the foundational role played by Africa in shaping ancient civilizations. The story of the Sumerians, one of the world's earliest advanced societies, reveals a history far richer and more complex than traditionally acknowledged. In the ancient lands of Mesopotamia, where the Tigris and Euphrates rivers meet, the world's first known civilizations flourished. The Sumerians, the Akkadians, the Babylonians, and the Assyrians each played a crucial role in shaping the course of human history. But buried beneath the sands of time is a truth that challenges everything we thought we knew: the undeniable presence and influence of African civilizations in the ancient Near East. Prepare to uncover the buried truths of history and journey into the forgotten legacy of the African pioneers who shaped Mesopotamia's greatest civilizations.
Until the lions have their own historians, the history of the hunt will always glorify the hunter. Discover the untold stories of Africa. Welcome to Echoes of Empires.
The Sumerians, one of the earliest known civilizations, flourished around 3000 BCE in what is now Iraq. Western historians have long debated their origins, with some arguing they were neither Indo-European or Semitic. However, evidence suggests they were an African civilization, with deep ties to the Nile Valley. Many scholars, including historian Runoko Rashidi, suggest that the brilliance of the Sumerian culture can be traced to African migrants from the Nile Valley. These settlers laid the foundation for Mesopotamian civilization, influencing countless societies that followed. Biblical and Egyptian records even reference Nimrod, the son of Cush, which is present-day Sudan, as the founder of the Mesopotamian civilization, linking these ancient cultures back to Nubian and Egyptian roots. By the 3rd millennium BCE, the southern Mesopotamian valley was known as Sumer and Akkad. The Sumerians referred to themselves as Salmat Kakadi, meaning the black-headed people. This designation is not a minor detail. It was a defining characteristic of their identity. Historian Adolf Bloch, in his studies of Mesopotamian civilizations, noted that the Sumerians consistently referred to themselves as Salmat Kakadi. This term was used repeatedly by later rulers, including Assyrian king Ashurbanipal and Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar, reinforcing the connection to an African lineage. Archaeological evidence, including statues and inscriptions, depict Sumerian rulers with distinctly African features, further solidifying this claim. The Sumerians were pioneers in numerous fields. They developed cuneiform, the earliest known writing system, which was used to record everything from trade transactions to religious texts. Their ingenuity extended to social organization, as they established powerful city-states such as Ur, Lagash, and Uruk, each governed by priest-kings. These cities became hubs of trade, culture, and religious practices, playing a vital role in spreading knowledge. Sumer's influence persisted even after its decline, influencing the Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians. The legacy of the Sumerian civilization stands as one of the most profound influences in human history. Their innovations laid the foundation for the great cultures that followed, shaping the development of the ancient Near East and beyond. Concepts first developed in Sumer, such as standardized measurement, property laws, and astronomical calculations, laid the groundwork for later intellectual and technological achievements across the ancient world. When the Akkadian Empire, founded by King Sargon of Akkad, conquered Sumer around 2340 BCE, they did not erase Sumerian traditions. Instead, they absorbed and preserved them. They adopted Sumerian writing, religious beliefs, and legal codes, ensuring that these advancements endured long after Sumer itself had declined. The famous Hammurabi's Code, one of the earliest legal systems, was based on Sumerian principles of justice. Even with the fall of Sumer as a political entity, its cultural influence remained unshaken. The Babylonians, Assyrians, and Persians, some of the most powerful empires of the ancient world, drew heavily from Sumerian knowledge. Even today, scholars and historians continue to study their achievements, recognizing the Sumerians as true trailblazers of human civilization. Assyria, best known for its invasion of Egypt during the reign of the 25th dynasty's Nubian pharaohs, was one of the most formidable empires in Mesopotamian history. Reaching its peak in the 10th and 7th centuries BCE, the city of Assur, located in northern Iraq, began as a Sumerian settlement. In its early days, Assur was a thriving trade city under the influence of the Sumerians, the Babylonians, and the Mananaean. Around 1300 BCE, Assur gained independence and began to expand its territory, marking the beginning of the Assyrian Empire, which lasted about a century. After a period of decline, during which Assur's influence was limited to its immediate surroundings, King Adad-nirari II launched a series of military campaigns in 911 BCE, leading to the rise of the Assyrian Empire. As Assyria expanded, its rulers continued to use the title King of the Black-Headed People, a clear indication of the continued recognition of Sumerian lineage and connections to the early black populations. Assyrian kings like Ashurbanipal and Sennacherib left inscriptions boasting about their conquests over the black-headed people. Despite their achievements, these civilizations were not entirely homogeneous. Mesopotamia was a melting pot where Black, Semitic, and mixed-race populations coexisted. Around 4,500 years ago, migrating Eurasian populations arrived in Mesopotamia and intermingled with its original African inhabitants. This exchange contributed to the development of Semitic languages, with Akkadian emerging as one of the earliest. Over time, Mesopotamia evolved into a diverse cultural landscape where Black, white, and mixed-race communities coexisted. The Sumerian language, originally spoken by the region's Black inhabitants, remained dominant in religious and traditional contexts, even as Akkadian became the administrative language. The religion of the Sumerians was deeply rooted in African traditions, further strengthening the link between Mesopotamia and the Nile Valley. The Sumerians, like many early African civilizations, worshipped a deity with both male and female aspects, paralleling spiritual traditions in Egypt and other African societies. Their agrarian lifestyle thrived in the fertile valleys of the Tigris and Euphrates, and many of their city names, such as Kish, Ur, and Mari, bear striking resemblances to Egyptian settlements. English scholar George Rawlinson observed that Chaldean monuments and traditions suggest an East African origin. He concluded that the people referred to as Nimrod in the Bible and as Ethiopians by the Greeks migrated from East Africa to Mesopotamia through Arabia. Despite modern efforts by some Western scholars to downplay these references, the phrase black-headed people was not a general term for humanity. It referred specifically to a distinct racial group. Archaeological excavations in the city of Kish provide additional proof of 26 skulls examined from 2500 BCE. 18 showed traits consistent with African ancestry. The prevailing view of the Sumerians as a non-African civilization is being challenged by growing historical and archaeological evidence. The Sumerians were not an isolated anomaly, but part of a larger African presence that influenced the ancient Near East. By reclaiming this lost legacy, we restore the truth and recognize the profound influence of African civilizations on the very foundations of human progress.